So I woke up to the situation that apparently, I guess, is unfolding in Florida, where a ton of cops have converged on a mall, like tons of police cruisers, and the consensus is it's come down to either Africans or aliens, as it often does. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. You know that, like, people these days, like, if they see anything even slightly interesting, they'll whip out their phone, you know, and start filming. So the fact that there's no footage coming out from there, yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, maybe eventually we'll see it or whatever, but and then the talk of the airports being shut down in the area, although that's not really been confirmed. There's something happening there, and we're in that stage of a thing where and it's most likely a psyop of some kind, of course. So we're in that early stage of where there's a lot of information coming out, where they're just throwing things out there, and they may or may not be correct or true. But I don't know about the teen African mob thing. I mean, I know that happens, but I don't think you need that many cops showing up for something like that. I mean, and those things, you know, those are psyops too. You tell me you're gonna get those kids to all meet at the same place at the same time? You couldn't do that with white kids. You might be able to do it with Latino kids. You just go over to the Home Depot. They'll probably be there early. I mean, I guess you could do it, but I don't know. I don't think it's that. It's got to be something else. It's a psyop for sure, you know. But I don't know. Kind of interesting though. That's what it's come down to: Africans or aliens. And I use the word Africans because I don't like using black and white, because once you start talking that way, you're doing half the job for them. These people are originally from Africa. They're Africans. End of story. I'm Irish. My people are from Ireland. Whatever you want to call it, Caucasians, Aryan, whatever. We're not white. By putting yourself into that either black category or white category, and I know people do it as a shorthand to thinking so they can make other people understand it, but you shouldn't do that, because you're doing their work for them. You know, you're creating that illusion of choice, two armies against each other, Nike against Converse, Coke against Pepsi. It's ridiculous. You know, that's everything. It's all binary. They try to get you down to all binary, as that's the building blocks of, you know, everything. 0, 1, 0, 1. Complex thought, sophisticated thought, nuance. They don't want you doing any of that. Not like you could do that with everything. I mean, of course, some things aren't sophisticated or nuanced in any way. It's just straight up. But yeah, I don't know what to think about this thing. It's being looked at kind of like as kind of a joke right now, until any further information comes in. But as a spiritual war correspondent, I'll be monitoring the story as it develops. Except for right now, because I can't, you know, do this and look on my phone at the same time. Yeah, those flash mobs that you see where African kids storming into a place and taking everything, those are set up not by them. There's no fucking way. You know, you'd have people showing up late, you'd have people coming the next day. They're not gonna organize that shit. It's probably organized, I mean, not probably, I'm almost 100% sure it is organized by glowies, you know, white or Jewish glowies. Yeah, no, I just used the white there, but whatever. The other one's organizing that stuff, and they probably still have a hard time doing it. You know, time is an abstract concept, so don't make me go into why that becomes a problem at this point. But the thing, I want to stay on YouTube a little bit longer. But yeah, the thing with those is it's intended to just make society look crazy. You know, they always make the news. There's always a camera there. There's always a bunch of cameras there. And people that, I was just about to say, people committing crimes don't like to film them, but these people do all the time, so I don't know, whatever. But normally, if there's a crime going on, it doesn't have 6 camera coverage like these do, you know? You get every angle. And I know they have store cams and all that stuff, but what I'm trying to say is it seems a little too prepared. The flash mob spontaneous event or whatever, although flash mob and spontaneous event are actually diametrically opposed. You know what I'm saying? We all understand me. They're always filmed, and they always make the news, and people can look at it and get scared and think, oh my God, the world is crazy. It's all coming apart. Yeah. It's so hot out here tonight. Well, hot relatively. Hey, little Dougie. You get that way off my butt. There's a lot of room out here, but I think most people are attracted to the person in front of them. It's almost like imagine you're walking through a minefield, right? You want to stick with the guy in front of you. For some reason, people do the same thing. Like they'll get right. They'll just I know I'm whining. I'll stop. But at least I notice this stuff. Like there's so many people that don't. You know, they're just oblivious to it. And no one's trying to be a jerk or anything like that. No, people don't realize they're doing this. They just subconscious behavior. You know, they just like they see someone walking and they're like, well, that's the path most tread. It must be the most safe one. One morning I had a fucking freak out. Not at the guy. I let him go by before I had a meltdown. But I was filming it. It's like early in the morning. The mall, International Marketplace, had just opened, and I think I was walking near to work, most likely. And I was coming home, and International Marketplace is empty. And when I mean empty, I mean empty. There's no one there but me and this other dude. And this other dude stuck with me, right behind me, the whole time. And I was like, usually like when I sense that they're staring at my pockets and they're trying to get rear entry, I move over and I let their little robotic asses pass by. But in this case, I'm like, I want to see how long this motherfucker follows me, like right behind me. And I'm talking on my, I'm doing a video, so I'm just like schizo babbling. And he stuck with me almost the whole time. And I think I got to a point where I was almost out, like where the information desk is here when you first walk in. So I made like the whole way. And then I stayed quiet until he got out of sight. And I remember having a fucking nervous breakdown. Why do they do that? Why? It's just another hint that a lot of what you're dealing with out here, they're not people like you are, you know? And I know people, some people get nervous when you say stuff like that because they instantly think of genocide. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't, you know, I don't hate anyone and no hate in my heart. I largely just want people to do their own thing and be contented doing their own thing while I'm doing my own thing. And there's really no reason for us to intersect. Yet we do, a lot. I was talking about whining. I think all I did is I used abstract thinking and escalated the whining to a different angle. I'm sorry, I don't want to be that way. I want to be uplifting like Regan Kelly, but I can't. I want to. The problem with me, right, is I may want to do that. Like, I'm going to remind people of their immortality and their power and how you're constantly being suppressed and that we're all going to make it, because we are. All that stuff's true. And then I step outside and that goes right out the shit almost immediately. As soon as I get close enough to have some kind of you know, interaction with someone, or someone that attempts, you know, some kind of interaction, right away it goes right out fucking window and down the toilet. It goes right out the toilet and right down the window. Cut through here. I'm very charitable when I first wake up. I stayed up way late last night into the morning, like I do a lot, and I reached one point. It was like 11 a.m. this morning, and I'm telling Nia, because she had the day off, I'm like, I gotta get out of here or else I'm gonna end up sleeping. And I think that's like the last thing I said until I woke up just now at like 6:30 or the fuck it is. Unless I get moving, it's just so comfy up there in the back cave. It's like always cool. Fans going, you know, no people except me and her. So you know, it's hard to leave sometimes. When I'm in there, I don't want to leave. But then when I come out here, I'm like, what the fuck am I? Why was I been in there all the time? It's weird. It goes back to the thing that Nia was talking about one day with moving through doorways. They're really portals. And when you move through, well, I mean, obviously, but when you move from one to another, depending on the dimensions of the room or the area you're moving into, it can change the whole frequency of everything. And that's really what happens going indoors to outdoors. Indoors, especially in the way they design things in the modern era, or since we've been back, you know, from that late 1800s, since we've been here, everything's boxes. Because they want you in that cube that the Jews wear on their heads. And I think when you sit in there, your energy, your thoughts, they double on each other. They compound each other sitting in the room. So if you feel like comfortable there, you're going to feel real comfortable there, and you're not going to want to leave. But then once I get through that threshold, that portal outside, it's like the spell is broken, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck was I doing inside all morning? It's so nice outside. And then I don't want to go back in. I mean, how many times have I've come back, I'll be doing a video on my way back home, and then I just end up in Schizo Garage, just wandering around, like trying to put off going up into the house. It's really weird. Anyway, when I wake up in the morning, I'm super charitable. I love everybody. I don't know why this is. It's kind of a problem. It has to do with the process or whatever the fuck they do to you when you're out of your body when you're sleeping, but I ended up spending like almost 10 minutes looking at funny t-shirts. And like looking at them and being like, oh, that's a good one. And next month, oh, that's a good one. It's like, what the fuck happened to me? How did whatever happened while I was out of my body really made me into a faggot or something. Like, I'm just like looking at these, enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. This is how normies must feel. God. I've had to drink a couple energy drinks, smoke 2 cigarettes, some coffee, read about that Africans or alien story, get my head in the game. So with head in the game, we go to Ross. 333. I'm actually here to get something for a change instead of wandering around and spending a bunch of money on nothing. I'll be back in a bit. When I leave here, I'm going to fire up again. Thanks for dropping in. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.